Hi, in this video I thought I'd share with you my setup to use my XK80, which is made by a company called Xkeys, and a piece of software called Central Control, to try and replicate some of the functions of a full-size production switcher in a much smaller package. So let's start by having a look at a traditional switcher. So if we look, we can see that in the if you ignore all the buttons and levers on the right hand side, our desk is split up into three main areas, and you can see those by the colours. So closest to us there's a row of red buttons, then there's a row of orange buttons, then there's a row of yellow buttons. And each one of those are mixes. So the one closest to us is our main output mix, and going away from us there are an additional two mixes. So if you don't know what those are used for, they are to do different cutting operations to send outputs to screens or recorders, or maybe a different broadcast feed. They're also used to assemble looks or setups that you can then access from those higher up MEs or mixes on the main program mix. So let's have a look at my Xkeys and see how I've tried to replicate that. So if we have a look at my Xkeys here, there are three main rows of inputs, 1 to 9 on each row, and if I show you those in the context of a vMix project, it'll probably make more sense. So there we are. So there's our main output. We can cut that. We can cut our second mix and our third mix, and then if we want to access either one of these mixes to our main output, those are available down here. So if I select mix 2 as preview down here, and then cut that, you can see that those change together. And likewise I can also access mix 3. So if I wanted to, I could build sort of looks or inputs here and then bring them down to here. So that's the basic layout. Now let's look at some of the other buttons. So up here I have what I have labelled as key preview and key 1, key 2, etc., or what in vMix would be termed overlays. These arrow buttons here allow me to go up and down data source sheets or pre-saved text in titles. Down here we have preview and next for going up and down playlists and a play stop. We have a clock, reset and start, and record, multi-chord and stream. So you might think, oh, 9 buttons, it's not very much, but there's another couple of layers under this. So if I select input 1 and then press shift, each button has an additional number in the corner of it. So if I hit the first shift, everything gets added 10 to it, so 1 becomes 11. If I select the other shift, 1 now becomes 21. So you can see that there are multiple layers underneath. Now I could add more than that. Central Control allows you to have multiple layers and cycle through them on a single button. I like to have them set up like this so I can have the flashing feedback so I know when I'm on a shifted layer. I could sacrifice one of the other buttons to have the same, but this works for me. So now let's talk about something called key follow, which is one of the most important things to try and make this Xkeys work like a full-size switcher. Now key follow is when you have an option or an operation and it automatically assigns itself to whichever input you press. So that might sound like gobbledygook, but bear with me and I'll try and demonstrate this for you. So on input 4 we have a clock. So if I preview 4 and then hit overlay or key preview, you'll see that that comes up on preview. You'll also see that it's changed the preview background to whatever is in program. That is because that's how a proper vision mixing desk works. It always shows you what you're going to go to, not some weird combination of stuff. So we've now got our clock on preview. So the take button flashes so I know which one it is, so I can take that over. and I can press start here and my clock starts. So nothing particularly spectacular there, but I have another clock on 16, so if I select that and now assign that to say key 3, you'll see that that now previews, and if I take that to air and then I can start it with the start button and off that runs. And then if I want to go back to clock 4, I can go back to there and hit reset, and that will go back to 0. So you can see that you can have, you know, as many clocks as you've got inputs, and only have to have one set of controls to operate them. Likewise with the, I have some playlists. So if I select 6, these playlist controls now operate that playlist. But if I say hit 7 instead, now I'm controlling that playlist, and the up and down and play pause button works for whichever one that I've got selected. And then finally, to show you the up and down arrows here, if I select input 2, which is a standard vMix lower third, and then take that live, and then use the up and down arrows, you can see that the text changes within that. So that could be a data source, or it could be pre-saved text for that input. And if I pulled up a different lower third, these buttons would automatically switch themselves over to whichever input I had selected. I don't know why that's flashing. That's weird. Oh, there we go. I think I must have clipped that. So anyway, there you go. That's a brief overview of how I use X keys and central control to try and make a full-size desk fit in a very small bag. I hope you found that interesting or useful. I will put links to both of those in the description for the video. Thanks for watching.